Human-made snacks each day for hungry dragon kids, unaware their mother owned the Mother Star. The galactic cruiser Infinity's Edge hummed through the void, carrying its cargo of diplomats, merchants, and one very exhausted human chef named Oliver Chen. He had signed up for what the recruitment poster called an adventure among the stars. They hadn't mentioned the part about working 18-hour shifts in a kitchen the size of a broom closet. Oliver was wiping down the counter when he heard it. A sound like wind chimes mixed with distant thunder. He turned to find three creatures staring at him through the kitchen's service window. They were small, no taller than his waist, covered in iridescent scales that shifted between emerald and sapphire. Their eyes were too large for their faces, golden and hungry. "We smell food," the smallest one said in perfectly accented standard, though her voice carried that same musical quality. Real food, not the protein slurry. Oliver couldn't help but smile. He'd seen dozens of species since leaving Earth, but these kids, because they were obviously kids, reminded him of his nieces back home. Always hungry, always curious. "You're not supposed to be back here," he said, but without any real authority. "What's your name?" "I'm Zara," said the small one. "That's Keth, and that's Mora. We're Draconians, but everyone just calls us dragons." She said it with the particular pride of a child who'd been told she was special. "Dragons, huh?" Oliver opened his cooling unit. "You know what? I just made some chocolate chip cookies. Earth recipe. Want to try one?" The transformation was immediate. 3 pairs of golden eyes went wide, and suddenly they weren't mysterious alien children, they were just kids being offered cookies. Oliver passed 3 through the window, watching as they bit down carefully, then with increasing enthusiasm. "By the Mother Star," Keth breathed. "What is this?" "Magic," Oliver said. "We call it sugar, butter, and chocolate. But magic works too." That was the beginning. Every day, the 3 young Draconians would appear at his kitchen window during the ship's evening cycle. Oliver would make them snacks, cookies, brown cakes, apple slices with peanut butter, grilled cheese sandwiches, simple Earth foods that somehow none of the galaxy's advanced civilizations had ever bothered to create. "Why do you feed us?" Mora asked one evening, her voice quieter than her siblings. "You don't gain anything. You don't ask for credits or trade." Oliver shrugged. "Flipping a pancake because you're hungry, because you're kids, because making food for people who appreciate it is the best part of my job." He slid 3 pancakes through the window. "And because you remind me of home." "Tell us about Earth," Zara demanded, syrup already on her chin. So he did. He told them about oceans and mountains, about cities that glowed at night and forests that stretched beyond seeing. He told them about humanity's first stumbling steps into space, about the colony ships and the wars and the hard-won peace. He told them about his grandmother's kitchen, where he'd learned that food wasn't just sustenance, it was love. Translated, "Humans sound strange," Keth observed. "You live such short lives, but you spend so much time on things that don't matter, like cookies." "Maybe that's exactly why we do it," Oliver said. "When you don't have forever, you learn to make the small things count." Weeks passed. The Infinity's Edge made stops at mining stations and diplomatic outposts, but Oliver barely noticed. His world had shrunk to the kitchen and the 3 dragons who visited him each evening. He taught them to crack eggs, to knead dough, to taste us and critique his creations with the seriousness of professional food critics. He never asked where their parents were. In space, families came in all configurations, and the kids seemed happy enough, though sometimes he noticed how they flinched at loud noises, how they clustered together when other passengers walked too close. Then came the day the ship dropped. Out of hyperspace near a star system he didn't recognize, and alarms began screaming through every corridor. Oliver was in the middle of making brownies when Olivia strode into his kitchen. He'd seen her before, of course. Everyone on the Infinity's Edge had seen her. She was impossible to miss, 8 feet tall, scales the color of ancient gold, wearing robes that seemed to be woven from starlight itself. She moved through the ship like she owned it, which, Oliver suddenly realized, she probably did. "You," she said, and her voice made his bones vibrate. "You are the human who feeds my children." Oliver's hand froze halfway to the mixing bowl. "Your children, Zara, Keth, and Mora." Olivia's golden eyes, the same shade as the kids', he realized with growing horror fixed on him. "I am Olivia, the eternal keeper of the Mother Star, sovereign of the Draconian expanse, and you have been making my children cookies." The kitchen suddenly felt very small. "I didn't. They never said. I was just..." Oliver took a breath, forced himself to stand straight. "Yes, I fed them, because they were hungry." Olivia stared at him for a long moment. Then, impossibly, she laughed, a sound like a star being born. "Do you have any idea what you've done, little human?" My children are royalty. They are heirs to systems and stations, to fleets and fortresses, and you gave them cookies. Good cookies, Oliver said defensively. My grandmother's recipe. Good cookies, Olivia agreed. The first real kindness they've known since their father died. Her voice softened. You treated them like children, not like assets or targets or political tools, just children. She moved closer, and Oliver resisted the urge to step back. The Mother Star herself speaks highly of you, Oliver Chen. She says any being who shares food with hungry children, expecting nothing in return, carries a light worth preserving. The Mother Star talks to you. I am her vessel. Her voice, her hand. Olivia smiled, showing teeth that could bite through starship holes, and she has asked me to make you an offer. Come to our homeworld. Be my children's teacher, their guardian when I cannot be. Show them more of these human magics, these cookies and pancakes and small kindnesses. Oliver looked at the brownie batter, at his small kitchen, at the life he'd built from nothing. Then he thought of 3 kids with golden eyes, learning to crack eggs and laugh at his terrible jokes. What about the brownies? He asked. I just started a batch. Olivia's smile widened. Bring them. My ship has a better kitchen. And so Oliver Chen, human chef from a small blue planet, became the official guardian to the heirs of the draconian expansor because he'd shared cookies with 3 hungry kids, never knowing their mother owned the star that birthed worlds. Some magic, he decided, didn't need to be complicated. Sometimes it just needed butter, sugar, and someone willing to share.